was good for him. He was willing to do whatever it takes.
Lalit used to start his day early and try to finish up all his office work by 11:30 a.m. Rest of the day he would devote to meeting people and planning.
Lalit had it all. He had a great family and he had great style. The parties were lavish and he loved his friends. He had a passion for all the good things in life and he loved sharing it with his family and friends. Of course, there were symbols of his wealth as a businessman, and Lalit was a glossy ambassador for his business empire.
Most people saw only his glamour and style. Few were aware of his early uncertainties and lows. But with Lalit's great spirit, he always pulled us out of all troubles. He often said in his inimitable style, "Why fear when Alice is here?"
What are you looking at?
His technique was basically to use his infrastructure and his personality to win, and he enjoyed it. That was Gittu.
CBC TV 18's Moshri Ved reports on Lalit Suri's expansion plans.
Lalit had that killer instinct in him. Not only did he have an amazing luck, he was very aggressive and intimidating while playing. And normally towards the closing session, he was absolutely lethal.
Those morning calls, good morning calls in the morning, just a reminder of paying his winnings, was a great thing.
I met Mr. Suri for the first time in 1979. He was a person who was a go-getter. In his dictionary, there was no word of no. He is the person who decided that I would like to take Srinagar property, the Bangalore property, which we opposed. He said, no, one day you'll realize, and I really appreciate today.
Lalit was a passionate person and he really enjoyed his success. But through it all, he remained connected with his junior staff, had a strange ability to inspire them, and they truly loved him for it.
अगर कोई गाड़ी के अंदर कोई प्रॉब्लम आ गया तो ऑन द स्पॉट मेरा बॉस एकदम मेरे को बताता था, क्योंकि एक ऑटोमोबाइल इंजीनियर था और दूसरा साहब बिल्कुल ही प्राउड आदमी नहीं थे, हमें बिल्कुल प्यार करते थे.
Lalit was an extremely busy man. He had the will but not enough time to be with his children. He left all major decisions regarding the kids with me. I was a strict parent, he was the indulgent one. We wanted to give our children the best education, the best opportunity, but most importantly, we wanted to give them a secure home, strong values so that they would grow up to be good human beings.
We grew up in a large family. Dad, Mom, Ritu Mama, Ramesh Papaji. They were strict. We were expected to be good human beings first.
Dad always wanted us to be well educated and professionally qualified. He never forced us to train on something that we didn't like.
Dad was really patriotic. He made us stand up for the national anthem every time. He was also very fond of sports, especially cricket.
While growing up, Dad was lots of fun to be around with. He and I shared a similar sort of taste in music. He loved Elvis and Shakira, and especially Madonna. He had a penchant for fancy cars and for amazing watches. He had an obsession for obsession.
Dad got a very early health scare. He put himself in a very strict diet and exercise regime. He even became a vegetarian.
I never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama?
Our chairman Saab used to like Loki with dahi, yellow dal, bangan bharta with tawa fulkas. Sometimes he used to ask for rajma and sugar-free rasmalais, and that was his favorite food.
Dad even gave up caviar and foie gras, but not his favorite snack, golgappas from Bengali market.
Hey girl, I can see your body moving, and it's driving me crazy.
He began playing golf and started walking very regularly. He never admitted it, but he always used to compete with me when we used to walk together. He was just happy that I was health conscious.
The way you right and left it, so you could keep on shaking it. Never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a
शाम के टाइम वे जब भी उन्हें वक्त मिलता वो डंबल जरूर करते थे.
So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body. I'm on tonight.
Well, Lalit was a man of activity. He was never lazy. Irrespective of when he slept at night, he'd be up very early in the morning, drive down to the golf course, and after some time there, he would be back in the garden for a walk. His meeting point with me used to be the temple.
Half animal, half man. I don't really
It was in 1991, after Gitu had a heart attack and a bypass, that Jyoti actually came onto the scene to help him both in terms of his business as well as his looking after his health. Ramesh ji, Ritu Bhabhi were very close to him, and he always looked upon Ramesh ji like a father figure.
The predatory tiger was a complete emotional wreck when it came to his family and children. I remember the morning after Divya's wedding, he rang her up despite my telling him not to and wept uncontrollably. The same emotion was there for Shraddha and Diksha. Each wedding was more lavish than the other. The doting father was a nervous and high-strung liability, but was eager to help. I had to ask him to just stay out of it all. He gave me complete freedom, but was very proud at the outcome. Once the kids had grown up, he began mellowing down and evolving. He became keen on art. He was drawn by a higher calling for public responsibility. He wanted to give back to society.
He was very particular in attending all the sessions and will never miss the parliament.
Earlier, my colleagues talked about the pride of India, Mumbai, being stated as to be built as Shanghai. It's a dream.
He was given a certificate from the income tax department, being the highest taxpayer for a period of consecutive 4 years.
He was a very successful man, and of course would take his parliament very seriously. I remember whenever he had to make his intervention in parliament, he'd prepare his speeches well, discuss with various experts, and then probably print out his speeches and send them to his friends, something that MPs very rarely did.
ललित सूरी जी बड़े ही धार्मिक प्रवृत्ति के व्यक्ति थे। उनके मन में एक संकल्प आया कि यहाँ पर गणेश जी की भी स्थापना होनी चाहिए, तो उन्होंने विधि पूर्वक जो है गणेश जी की स्थापना की।
Lalit Bhaiya was a deeply religious person. He was the first to volunteer for any national relief work or any social work. He felt at peace in temples and donated generously. He was religious and philanthropic. Lalit Bhaiya championed the war widows cause and provided free ambulance services for poor in the state of Uttar Pradesh. We used to visit all the religious places together, spread throughout the year. We visited Mata Vaishno Devi, Tirupati ji, Amarnath ji in the very first half of 2006. He even visited his birthplace, Rawalpindi also.
He wanted to go back and see his ancestral home and touch base with the roots where he was born.
In 2006, Lalit and I visited our ancestral home in Pindi. It used to be earlier Suri Mansion. When he saw that the name was changed to Noori Mansion, he was amused to see that. Later on, we both visited our Kalyan Das Suri temple in Rawalpindi, where he was blessed as a newborn child. He really loved that trip.
The day of Diksha's marriage, after the dinner, we all were sitting together. And Diksha came to Lalitji and she put her head on his shoulder and said, "Papi, thanks." Then he said, "For what? I have to give only checks. But your mom has done everything. ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ. No, I am relaxed. I will spend more time with my grandchildren. God has given me so beautiful grandchildren and I want to spend my time with them. ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ यही देखेगी."
Last year, for the first time, he did the Kanjak Puja himself. He fed all the little girls and did all the rituals on his own.
जिस दिन सर लंदन जा रहे थे उस दिन घर से अंदर से सीधा बाहर आ गया, गाड़ी के पास आया था। एक दो मिनट रुकने के बाद फिर दोबारा अंदर गया।
He went all over the house and told the security guards outside, please look after everything, which he had never done before.
I walked into his office on the evening of the Friday before he left, and just to say bye, he sat me down and then walked me out to this very spot right here. I even asked him, "Dad, why are you walking me out? You travel so often, you know, it's okay, I'll see you in a week's time." And he didn't say anything. He just told me that he really loved me and, you know, that I'd see him soon.
Fifth morning, he rings me up. He tells me, "Toshi, Pad, I'm coming to your house to see you." So in the evening he came. When he was leaving, he touched both my feet. I was surprised. I said, why he has done like this? He has never done like this before.
He was never sentimental about leaving for a trip. But on this London trip, he insisted on seeing all the kids, either at the hotel or at the airport.
He was very calm during the last few weeks, unusually calm. That was not his usual self.
For the first time, he never gave me a list of things to be done when he returned. He was also missing Mr. Keshav Suri, his son, who was in London.
Lalit loved Kashmir. He loved the hotel and our house. He enjoyed the beautiful flowers. He enjoyed the Dal Lake. But his heart was in London. He never missed his morning walk to Hyde Park, the high point of which was feeding the ducks in Serpentine Lake.
I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full.
Dad loved London.
I traveled each and